So what is the best self-improvement habit to improve your life? Well, that is what I'm going to be covering in this video, because we're going to be doing the ultimate self-improvement habit tier list, where I'm going to be ranking almost the top 30 best or at least most popular self-improvement habits, whereas the S tier is going to represent habits that can completely change your life, and the F tier represent habits that can actually ruin your life. So yeah, this is also going to be based on my subjective experience from doing most of these habits for months, if not years. So let's get into it. So let's start with something basic: getting sufficient daily sunlight. Sunlight is going to improve your vitamin D levels in your body, which help with hormones and energy. But it's also going to improve your circadian rhythm by helping your body understand when it's time to go to bed, and also when you're going to wake up, so you're going to have a better quality REM sleep as well. So it's just a good thing to prioritize, and thus I'm going to put it in the B tier because it's important, but definitely not like life-changing. Over to the next habit, exercise. Well, exercise is crucial. I don't even need to tell you the benefits, you probably know them. It's going to help you live longer, it's going to make you feel more energized throughout the day, it will just increase your confidence because your body composition is probably going to improve for the better, meaning you're going to lose fat and build muscle so that you look more aesthetic. There are many forms of exercise. It doesn't have to just be weightlifting. It can be calisthenics, working out with your body weight, or it can be running, jogging, cycling, football, basketball, power walking if you're into that sort of thing, sprinting. It can be a ton of stuff, and yeah, it definitely will change your life drastically if it's a habit that you're able to commit to long term. So S tier, the next self-improvement habit is going to be a side hustle. And a side hustle, all that it is to make some money on your own by essentially being an entrepreneur on your spare time, apart from your regular job or studies or whatever you usually do in your life. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with a side hustle, but it's definitely not acquired to live a meaningful life, to be happy, to help other people in meaningful ways. And a lot of self-improvement people online seems to think that a side hustle is essential for health, for longevity, for a life purpose, which it definitely isn't. But it's a good thing nonetheless if you enjoy making money and if you are a entrepreneurial type of guy. So we're going to put it in the D tier. Another exciting one, which I used to do for years but I don't do anymore, is a to-do list, where you basically just, I don't know, have a notes document or a diary and you just write your daily task which you want to accomplish for the day. And it's not like a to-do list is bad, it's definitely good to try to reach your goals and also to dissect your goals into minor tasks which can be accomplished throughout each day. But it's not the best productivity hack. It's sort of like a very lazy way of hoping that you're going to accomplish your goal throughout the day, because instead of actually planning out in more depth, you're just writing what you want to get done essentially. So it's not the best productivity hack, but it is pretty good, so I'll put that in D tier as well. So then, what is actually a good productivity and time management habit? Well, that is what we're going to cover now, and that is time blocking. Time blocking is essentially just carving out time which you've prepared in advance for a certain task that you want to accomplish. So it's basically a much more in-depth to-do list. Probably started doing time blocking about like a year ago by using my Apple Calendar app, by just carving out everything that I need to, have to, or want to do throughout the day. And it's completely changed my life, the way I'm actually structured, organized, and it also helps a lot with keeping myself accountable, because I already have a plan for when I'm going to do something. So it tremendously helps with beating procrastination, which is why it's such a great habit. So we're going to put that in the A tier. Next habit up is cold exposure, which can be done through cold showering or taking cold baths. And this is something I've done daily, almost daily, for 1 or 2 years now. And I'm not going to say that it's going to change your life, but it's actually a great habit, not only for building resilience and discipline by doing something that you don't want to do, but after you've done it, you're always grateful for having done it. But it actually has scientific evidence for increasing your dopamine levels within multiple hours after taking the shower. So it's going to improve your mood essentially. And the main reason why I do it is just to quickly give me a boost of energy in the morning so that I can quickly get on with my daily routine and be more efficient with my work, because you wake up instantly when taking a cold shower. But again, it's not like life-changing, but I do think it's a good habit, and it is pretty painful as well. So we're going to put that in the C tier. So the next habit is going to be making your bed. And this is a very cliche habit in terms of self-improvement, which almost all of these are, to be honest. But making your bed is great, but it's also a very minuscule habit that, in theory, you're going to start your day off well and start with an accomplishment which is just going to perpetuate even more accomplishments throughout the day. But in my opinion, I don't really feel accomplished after doing that because it's such a minuscule task. But I mean, we gotta start where we're at. So if that's something that you haven't done yet, I think it's a good thing to do. But since it's just so minuscule, let's put it in the E tier. Over to a crucial habit, sleeping. So yeah, sleeping is just the best drug out there. It's going to improve your muscle mass, can help with reducing fat loss, can help with energy levels, can help with cognitive performance, can help with memory, can help with testosterone, just every good thing in the world. Sleep is going to help you with that, and every bad thing such as diseases and chronic and mental illnesses is going to reduce that as well. So yeah, sleeping is just amazing. And for actually acquiring enough sleep, I would recommend to follow a evening routine to get yourself into that restful state so that you're actually going to be able to fall asleep. But yeah, that for another video. But yeah, S tier for sleep. Next self-improvement habit is waking up early. And yeah, waking up early is great. It's going to give you a good start to the day, where you're probably going to be more productive when other people are sleeping compared to doing it on the evening the night before or the day off. But it's, again, nothing magical. I like to wake up early, but not super early. I usually wake up at like 7 or 8, which is a pretty regular time. But yeah, it's great to wake up early, but you definitely don't have to do it to improve your life. So we're going to put it at the C tier. Next habit is going to be walking, which is absolutely great. And if you don't already walk a lot by just commuting to school, to work, to gym, to wherever you need to go, then you definitely should prioritize having walks for its own sake, because getting those steps in is just going to help with your metabolism, burn more calories, and also just help your body regulate. And you can also get sunlight through that way. So yeah, very important for your mental health as well, in my opinion. So let's put that at A tier. Next self-improvement habit is going to be staying sober, which is obviously great because it's literally poison to your body, and it's going to make you not live as long. It's going to decrease your cognitive abilities. You're not going to be able to perform as well. But by that being said, it is a pretty fun drug and it's also so engraved into our culture. So even though I've personally had like months off from alcohol when studying, I noticed that it actually drastically reduced my social life. Even though I tried to stay social, it was just a lot harder. And that is just my personal experience, of course. I salute everyone who stays sober, because it's definitely a great thing to do if you're able to do it without any other health consequences, such as your social life, because that's definitely a part of that. And that is why we're placing staying sober in the B tier, because it's definitely a great thing to do for your health, but it just has some negative implications for your social life often. The habit is going to be to practice gratitude. This is most commonly done through journaling, gratitude journaling, where you write 1 to 3 things each day that you're grateful for. And a bonus point if you actually write why as well, because then you're going to get even deeper into the feeling that you're going to experience of gratitude, which is why you're doing it in the first place. And you can also express gratitude through actually showing that thing or person you're grateful for. So telling your friend or family member that you are grateful for having them in your life and the things they've done for you. And this is great. This is going to cultivate a reciprocal positive feeling. So that is why we are going to place it in A tier. Probably not life-changing, but it's very easy to do if you just try daily, for example, to get into that emotional state of appreciating what you have instead of always wanting more. The next habit is going to be a pretty cliche habit as well in the productivity space, and that is the Pomodoro technique. All that is a time restrictive technique where you just work for either 25 or 50 minutes typically, and then rest for 5 to 10 minutes typically, and just repeat that process in multiple blocks. I mean, the Pomodoro technique isn't going to change your life, it's just a time restricting habit, but it's a great way of differentiating between deep work and relaxation, which is why I actually have a physical clock that I use for the Pomodoro technique whenever I'm in need of it. So yeah, not gonna change your life, but a pretty good habit for being productive. So C tier. Okay, so the next habit coming up is going to be something that I actually can take seriously. But that is going to be NoFap, the conscious act of not masturbating, essentially. It's basically a subculture online that are infatuated with not touching themselves, and they feel a lot of toxic shame whenever they do, which is definitely not a good thing. I mean, it's like with any habit. If you overindulge in it, it's not going to be healthy for you. But if you do it sometimes and it's not controlling your life, then you shouldn't feel toxic shame towards something. That is probably just going to make you dislike yourself even more than you already do. That is why NoFap is going into the E tier, because it's not going to drastically improve or worsen your life, but the toxic shame that can come with NoFap, if you're ashamed of it, definitely can. The next self-improvement habit, which typically isn't seen as a habit, but it has the potential to drastically improve your life for the better, is being kind. Being kind is such a great thing, and who would have thought that being kind would make your life better as well? Well, that is actually something that is been figured out through evolutionary biology, and the term is coined reciprocal altruism, and all that means is that when you are kind to others, others feel a sense of need to be kind to you back. And that is why the most successful people in life typically are kind people, because they give, meaning that they get, which is how you also perpetuate your genes within a evolutionary perspective. So yeah, being kind is so amazing, and since this is like a self-improvement habit tier list, we're focusing on the egocentric perspective of what it's going to give to me, but obviously it has great impacts on the people that you love, on the people that you want to help get better, and those you care about. But it's also going to improve your life drastically, because it's going to make people more nice to you. It's going to open up opportunities like you never thought would have been possible. So yeah, that is why being kind is going into the S tier. And even if it wouldn't change your life, it's going to change someone else's life. So do it. Alright, so a quite odd self-improvement habit, but I decided to put it in the list nonetheless, and that is relaxation. And that is because most people who are into self-improvement and want to become better, I mean, that is a great endeavor, definitely. But it can be pretty toxic if everything you do in life is to serve the goal of always becoming better, and you're not able to actually relax because you can't rationalize and justify in your head why you should relax instead of actually working towards your goal. And that makes logical sense for the achiever, but you're going to burn out then, and I don't think you're going to enjoy life as much if you're only working towards goals and never appreciating what you have and take some time to relax by doing hobbies that you enjoy. This can be everything from playing a video game, watching a movie, hanging out with friends, going out, hosting a party, having board games evenings, going for a walk, playing volleyball. It can be whatever you like to do, you know, reading up on something, learning about something, producing content. It can be whatever. So this is a pretty essential habit, which I do think people that are interested in self-development definitely shouldn't ignore. So that is why it's going into the B tier. The next habit coming up is going to be affirmations, and all affirmations are positive statements about yourself in order for you to believe them more completely. So for example, telling yourself that you're a healthy person because you're striving towards becoming better, even though you have self-limiting beliefs of you being unhealthy and not being able to change. And affirmations, I used to not like them, but after actually reading a bit about the research and scientific literature behind affirmations, it actually is effective, not in a way of wishful thinking, for example saying that you are good enough or successful if everything you do in life is contradictory to that statement, where you're not doing anything whatsoever with your life. But it's sort of just like a small reminder of reminding yourself of positive statements whenever you need it. And in order for them to work, which is also proven by scientific literature, you have to actually believe in the statement that you're telling yourself. So affirmations actually can impact your life positively, but I don't think that they will do it drastically, because it's more about what you actually do instead of what you tell yourself, in this scenario at least. So yeah, D tier for affirmations. Now for another one of my favorites, and that is going to be meaningful work. And what do I mean by this? Well, I do think that purpose is essential for most people, at least if you are a bit introspective and you like to think about life and the meaning of life and your place in it and how you can improve it. And yeah, if you are just a reflective person, I think it's crucial for you to actually have some meaningful work that sustain you throughout suffering, or whenever you are in need of a greater meaning than just yourself, which can be the danger of just blindly following self-improvement ideologies, where often in the self-improvement niche it's stated that you are the most important thing in this world and the main goal of life is to improve yourself. I mean, obviously that is inherently selfish, and I don't actually think that is the key to sustaining yourself through suffering in life and actually acquiring meaning and happiness along the way, which is why I think meaningful work is essential. Either if this is studying to have a career in something that you want to work as in order to help other people, or if it's creating content online, or if it's creating music, having like a creative expression that goes beyond just yourself, to create YouTube videos, to study at university, to have a good paying job, to be caring for your family and help them whenever they are in need. Just some meaningful work to set aside time each day on something, a goal that you want to pursue that is beyond yourself, that is self-transcendent, is in my opinion crucial for improving your life and making the world and yourself better as a consequence. So that is why we're going to put meaningful work in the A tier. No, S tier. Next up, perhaps the most important habit I wanted to include in this video is something that a lot of us do, especially people who are focused on improving and bettering themselves, which is great, but that often stems from a place of insecurity and shame and a feeling of lack. And that is the habit of self-loathing. And self-loathing is just to be constantly self-critical towards yourself and think that you're not good enough, and to believe that you can't be loved as you are, you can't be accepted as you are, you're not worthy of a person. And that is the reason why you have to get better. That is the reason why you have to improve in order to finally, eventually get that love that you feel like you want but you don't deserve currently. And I do think that this is the main motivator for people actually being so infatuated with self-improvement, why they constantly try to become better and strive for perfectionism. And self-loathing, being self-critical towards yourself all the time and not thinking you're good enough, that is such a hard thing to also try to evaporate, so that you actually can feel a sense of self-love. And I know that is a very big taboo topic, especially for men as well, which is why I'm sort of trying to dedicate my channel towards especially fixing this issue of people not thinking they're good enough. Self-loathing is definitely not a good habit, and not believing that you're good enough is not going to motivate you to become the best version of yourself and live the perfect life that you want to live. Even though you think so, it's going to make you hate yourself, because you're going to have so much internal conflict in your head, where you're always going to be talking down towards yourself and not pushing yourself up as a caring friend, which you can sort of like rectify self-loathing throughout practicing self-compassion and self-care, which is what I'm going to be talking about in future videos. But yeah, self-loathing is the worst self-improvement habit, which is very popular, unfortunately, consciously or subconsciously in the self-improvement niche, which is why I place it in the F tier. Next habit is going to be goal setting. A super basic one, just setting goals. You can either use like the SMART acronym, which you've probably heard about for goal setting, or you can just write what you want to accomplish within a specific time frame and make a plan on how you're going to accomplish something by writing down specific habits that you can perform, and time blocking, which we talked about, in order to actually reach your goals. And goal setting is great. I mean, us humans, we are ambitious people. We want to make life better than it is. But setting goals isn't everything there is to life, certainly, which is why we're going to put it in the B tier, because goals are great, but it's not necessary. The next self-improvement habit is going to be following a restrictive diet. This can be the carnivore diet, eating all meat. This can be the vegan diet, eating all plants and not animal-based food. Or it can be intermittent fasting, which is restricting the time window throughout the day when you eat. It can be the keto diet. It can be whatever diets you'd like. There are plenty different of diets out there, but what the scientific literature, in my opinion, have found consistently is that focusing on what you shouldn't eat is actually not the best way of improving your health and staying on a diet long term, because improving your health is a lifestyle. It's not something that you're going to do for 2 months and hop off. It's going to be consistent daily habits that you prioritize in order to make your health better long term, which is why the restrictive diet is going into the D tier. And therefore the next self-improvement habit is eating nutritiously, which is the opposite, where we're focusing on what you should eat. So what actually is eating nutritiously? Well, it's to focus on not processed food that are high in vitamins, minerals, fibers, and other essential micronutrients. This can be everything from plants, from fruits, from vegetables, from lentils, from beans, from whole grains especially, some meat, some fish, some egg, olive oil, peanut butter, healthy fats, just to name like a few sources, instead of focusing on what you shouldn't eat. And that is also going to give you a lot of toxic shame, where you are probably not going to be so happy with yourself when you cheat on that restrictive diet, which you definitely are going to. And eating nutritiously is going to help you with your energy. It's going to help you with your body composition if you're looking to lose fat or build muscle. It's going to help with your confidence, and I think it's a crucial thing for anything you want to do in life, especially even like concentration and being able to work your job more effectively. So that is why eating nutritiously is going in the S tier. The next self-improvement habit is going to be meditation. And meditation, I've done this for a few years now regularly, and I absolutely love it. There are many forms of meditation you can do. Mindfulness is the typical Western adaptation of Eastern meditation, and in very simple terms, all that meditation is just to place your awareness on your thoughts or anything in your conscious experience in order to actually observe yourself instead of actually being one with your thoughts. And meditation has a plethora of benefits. It can help with your concentration. It can help with detaching yourself from your ego from a spiritual point of view. It can also help with getting more self-aware of one's own thoughts by consciously observing one's thoughts and not identifying with them, which is why we're putting it in the A tier. And the next habit coming up is reading. Reading is a great habit to perform so that you're able to learn and improve. I mean, it doesn't have to be reading. You can learn by doing. You can learn by watching, for example, YouTube, such as this. But it's a great habit that requires a ton of concentration, which makes it hard, but that is the reason why it's also valuable, so that you'll actually absorb more of the information instead of just mindlessly watching a YouTube video, which you aren't doing right now, I hope. Reading is going into the B tier because it's great for improving your life, but it's definitely not necessary. And there are plenty of ways of learning. You don't have to read. Next habit is going to be manifestation. And manifestation simply just means to wish for something and it comes true just by merely thinking of it, which I think undermines the practical effort that you have to put in towards achieving your goals. and I don't think it has any rational or logical explanations behind how it actually works. And I read a few books about the subject as well, which is why we're going to put it in the E tier. So the next self-improvement habit is going to be socializing, which is a bit of a weird habit to include in a self-improvement video, because we're focusing on the self, not other people. But socializing is actually something that is going to increase your happiness tremendously. Actually, the longest study that has ever been performed on happiness found that the thing that correlated the most with a sense of happiness and also living longevity is being social regularly with other people and having quality relationships. Just by being with people, it's going to make you happier, it's going to make them happier, especially if you're kind as well, which we talked about earlier, which is going to start that process of reciprocal altruism, which is going to be a win-win situation for everyone, which is why we're putting being social in the S tier for self-improvement habits. So yeah, try to consciously make a plan of how you can be more social. I do this bi-weekly, when I weekly time block by scheduling in my calendar. I usually try to figure out a ton of social things I can do with friends. And the last self-improvement habit is going to be visualizations. And visualizing, that basically just means imagining a certain event or a scenario in your head. And to be honest, I've actually never done this consistently, so I don't know if it works or not, but it's a very popular self-improvement habit nonetheless. And I do know that the Stoics are famous for doing negative visualizations, which prepares you for the negative events to come, and also that positive psychologists and other people like to indulge in positive visualizations, where you imagine how the day is going to turn out if it turns out well in terms of your specific needs and wants. So yeah, we're going to put visualizations. I don't think they can drastically improve your life, but I do think that they can help. So that's why we're putting them in the D tier. And again, this is just my personal opinion. So if you have any other opinions, feel free to mention them in the comment section below. And let me know if I should discuss some of these habits in a YouTube video on its own. So yeah, subscribe if you haven't, like the video if you liked the video, or dislike the video, and tell me in the comment section below what I can do better to improve. Check out my website for free resources, articles such as this video, and coaching. See you in the next one. Peace. Bye.